Yo. I'm going to jump straight in because my lunch is cooking and it's going to ding any moment. So, Heinz and I are just, here he is, look. Apparently my leg smells amazing. We've just been on our walk and a really cute red setter came and leant against my leg, and now Heinz is obsessed with like, I can smell another dog on you, Mum. You been cheating on me? We were together, bud. It's fine. You saw this dog. Okay, so the earth element in 5-element theory is connected to the stomach and the spleen. I want to speak to you specifically about the stomach today. God, the lighting in here is dreadful. Never mind. We persevere and trust the message is valuable enough that it doesn't matter that I look like I have some kind of wasting disease. So, I had a craniosacral session yesterday, and during the session, I received this, how do I put this? I guess I received this clarity, should we say, around, I've been doing a gut cleanse, and although the physical gut cleanse has gone really well, and I know that, I mean, you know, I dropped some excess weight and my stomach bloating's gone down and I feel better energetically and stuff like that. I could feel that there was still something like, I could feel it almost in my gut, like something solid that was just like clinging on. And I thought, well, it can't be food and it can't be like physical in terms of like needing to detox physically, because that's all happened. So what is this? And I just set the intention a couple of days ago to receive clarity on whatever it was that needed to go, or what did I need to see? What was it that I was not yet understanding, you know. So yesterday when I had my craniosacral session, she was doing some work around here and like shifting some things in my face and my like neck and my head. And I just got this clarity around the fact that I'd been doing a lot of scrolling on social media recently, and I got into this habit, and at first it was fine because it just was like a fun thing to do, and it was unusual for me to do it, to be honest. So it's kind of like, oh, this is like a fun new thing I can do. And when I was going to bed at night, I was watching TikTok, and I was kind of looking at different recipes and stuff. So my intention behind it was very much to like inspire me for what I could cook for my meal prep, and you know, look at new healthier ways to get like more nutrients, ways to eat foods or like vegetables and things that I wouldn't normally include in my diet that feel like what I quite like to just, you know, sometimes you get bored of the same old things over and over. So I was just looking to be inspired by what to eat. So really that's what I was looking at. And then, you know, watching a couple of friends things to support them and just having a gay old time. And as I was doing this, I began increasingly aware that this started about, I don't know, like 10 days ago, 2 weeks ago. I became increasingly aware of this pressure in my head, and I have an open head center in human design and an open ajna. So I'm basically in our open centers. If you're not familiar with human design, go to jovianarchive.com, JOVIAN archive.com. And just you do your free chart, and then you can fall down the rabbit hole. I can tell you a book to get if you're interested, so just tag me below in the comments on this live stream, and I'll share a link to a book that you can use to get started in human design if that interests you. My head and my ajna center are open. Now in our open centers we amplify. So this means that I amplify questions, I have this like feeling of pressure to know the answers, to understand, to collate information, and to like feel a sense of certainty and knowing. And it doesn't feel very comfortable in my body if I don't have all the answers to all the questions in my head. So part of the deconditioning process of the open head and the open ajna is like getting okay with not knowing the answers, not having a feeling of certainty. And I'm aware of these things, but I didn't really think about what I was doing when it came to like consuming content I'm very mindful of consuming content on Instagram and Facebook because I use those a lot for my business. And I'm very aware that a lot of the people I follow are coaches, mentors, artists, and they're usually people who are, you know, speaking about potentially similar concepts to me, and I'm mindful of not wanting to like absorb their voice and replicate things. I always like it to come from me and my channel when I create content. So what became interesting was when I did this cranio session yesterday, this message about the stomach, this message about the earth element and its connection to the open head. Now look, this could be the same for any of your open centers. For me, these two are particular, like this one in particular is very dominant. So I'm aware of that being the issue for me, but for you, it could be any of your own open centers. You will be amplifying the energy of others around you. But don't forget that that also includes the people who are creating content. As I'm sitting here, I'm transmitting certain energies that I don't even have a say over. They're just, my defined centers are always, you know, creating a certain vibration that you will feel. And so the same is true of when I'm watching someone talk about something online, a recipe, or, you know, like tips for marketing your business or whatever it is. I'm also receiving their energetic frequency, and they will have dominant centers and defined centers that I might be open in, and therefore I am amplifying them. I didn't really think about this until yesterday when I had my cranio session, and it became super, super clear to me that the amount of social media, and particularly the TikTok scrolling, was really detrimental to my gut and my ability to receive nourishment. So look, let's look at it this way. When we put food in our mouth, it travels into the stomach holds it, rots and ripens, receives nutrients, and then sends it on its merry way through the rest of the digestive system. If the stomach is full, we know, right, we can have all sorts of problems. If we just keep shoveling food in our face, like we've all done it, been out for a delicious dinner and we're like, oh, I probably shouldn't have a dessert, but oh, I really want one, I'm so full, but oh well. And then we have a dessert, and then maybe we have cheese and biscuits, and we have a cocktail, and then we're like, oh God. And then, you know, like we get home and we like explode, or like the next morning we're like, oh God, I feel so crap, and we might get like, you know, the poops or whatever. But what also happens is it's like if we put too much food in, it creates problems, and if we don't put enough food in, that creates problems as well. In this particular instance, I'm talking about too much. So if you eat an entire fucking buffet and the contents of the restaurant next door, your stomach is not going to be able to process all of that food. So you're either going to be sick, or you're going to get the shits, or something's going to happen. Your stomach is not going to be able to go, hang on a minute, I'm just going to digest this piece nicely. Okay, next. You know, we need to give ourselves time to rest and digest in between meals. We can't just be shoveling food in our face all day. And if we do, it creates all sorts of problems physically and emotionally, mentally, spiritually, etc. The same is true of information and content and emotions, right? So for me, scrolling on TikTok, I'm amplifying and creating all these questions, all these ideas, all this inspiration, and then I'm like stalling my ability to manifest and bring any one idea into the world. So if you find that you're someone who is creating offerings or creating artwork, or you're just creating things in general, and you have a fuck ton of ideas, but you're unable to actually bring any of them to fruition or like follow through on any of them, then it's because you've got an imbalance in your earth element. So we've been looking at this tapping into the elements, but the reason it's relevant right now to this message is when we consume too much content or information or the emotions of others or whatever it is through your open centers and human design, when you consume too much, your stomach, your earth element, can't actually receive it fully and receive the nourishment and what is good from it. So the system becomes overwhelmed. We become clogged up energetically, emotionally, spiritually. We have all these ideas like running around in our heads, and we're unable to digest the ideas. Hey Sarah, nice to see you. It's been a while. So we're unable to digest the ideas and then actually do anything with them. Now, Obviously, we've looked at that in great depth in tapping into the elements yesterday when we did our earth transmission. But this piece that came to me in my Cranio session yesterday was very specific to me and what I've been going through recently, which is all these ideas, knowing I've got this next level of information and capacity and like potency in my work. I can feel it. What wants to come through is so powerful. But rather than sitting and being and allowing myself to be with it and like receive it fully, understand what's good, let go of the rest, I haven't been able to do that because I've been almost like seeking more inspiration. And actually the problem was not inspiration. The problem was that I wasn't allowing myself the gift of the rest and digest. I wasn't allowing myself to go, oh wow, I've already got loads of ideas. What if I just switched off all my social media for a couple of days and allowed myself to just spend 2 days sitting with my own creative process and just allowing myself to really like feel into all of the ideas and sit with them and take some time with all of them? Because when you have an open head center in human design, or even if you're just someone who has a lot, like a busy mind and a lot of ideas constantly, if you're not able to bring them to life or follow through on any of them and see any of them to completion, your earth element is likely fucked and you're probably consuming too much of other people's stuff. So like I said before, it's the equivalent of trying to make your body physically digest an entire fucking buffet table and just eating all of it and expecting your body to be able to receive the nourishment from it. It's going to overload your system, and the same is true of creativity. Sometimes you actually have to kind of rubber meet the road and you have to do something about it. You have to take action. But a lot of the time what we want is, I just need a bit more inspiration. I'm not sure that this feels right. I'm not sure that this feels right. I just need one more. It's not the right idea. I just need one more idea. It's like, no. You've got plenty of ideas. You are an ideas machine. If you're one of my people, you're highly creative, visionary, you have the capacity for massive visioning, and therefore what's happening is the more you spend time trying to increase your vision and increase your inspiration, your poor system is going, I don't know what to do with this. This is way too huge. Like, I need some small steps in between this and that. You probably become overwhelmed by the size of your vision and what you really want to receive into your life, and then you don't do anything, you stall. So if this is resonating with you, then I really would recommend, if you want to do something physical, do something like a gut cleanse. Find someone who can guide you through it. I use one called Gut Right, and you can actually go onto their website, which is ATP Science. You can get their product. I have someone who supplies it in the UK. If you're interested, I can link you up with them. It's like £40, I think, for a tub of this stuff. You do it for 10 days. It's amazing on a physical level. But I really feel like one of the places where we struggle the most in my community with, you lovely people and me, what we seem to struggle with the most is that we convince ourselves that our ideas are either not good enough, or they're not ready, or we haven't got enough ideas, or the big idea hasn't arrived yet and we're still waiting for it. So we're like looking for inspiration. And the truth of the matter is, you're not going to receive your big idea by looking at what other people are doing. You're going to receive your big idea by creating space in your internal systems. You've got to create space to receive it. Try shoving more new clothes into a wardrobe that is filled with not just your clothes, but other people's clothes. You cannot do it. And even if you could fit more in there, you won't be able to discern which things you like or what you want to wear, and you'll just end up going, I don't even want to look at that. I'm just going to wear the same thing I wore yesterday and like hand wash my tights over the sink and then put them back on the next day. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're going to end up regurgitating the same thing over and over again because you don't even want to look in the fucking wardrobe. You don't want to look at the new ideas because it's too overwhelming for you. So start playing with your earth elements. Start understanding what it means to allow yourself space to rest and digest, not just food, but ideas and emotions. If you're like me and you are like, you have empathic tendencies, I'm glad this is entertaining you, Sarah. I live to please. if you are, and this happens when people do course after course after course, rather than like doing, if you want to do a program or work with a mentor, do clearing work so that you can make some space, or do like something where you're actually working with somebody who's going to lead you and guide you deeper into yourself and towards your specific vision and your specific goals. That's why I work that way. I'm not interested really in filling you with more knowledge. Like, I have offerings like that for people who are ready to receive more wisdom, and they just feel like they're at a place where they're like, right, I've integrated what I need to integrate and now I'm ready to learn more. Fantastic. I'm like that too. I love to learn. But the best way, in my opinion, to learn is to start living into what you've already learned. Start implementing that and see the changes. And then you'll understand where you really are. And then you can start to be more discerning about what you invest in. Do I need another course to teach me how to paint? Do I need another course that teaches me how to use another modality or energy modality, or do I need another coaching certification, or do I need to deepen my practice in this? It's like, dude, are you even fucking using the modalities and the techniques that you've learned already? Or are you just thinking, are you coming from a place of, I just need a bit more and then I'll be qualified? Because I can guarantee you, if you've got one modality or one artistic technique in your book, you already have enough to start. You already have enough to start. And, it's only through beginning and taking that aligned action that we start to find out where our blind spots are, or where the holes in our skill set are. And then you might be like, oh, I'm a coach and I'm moving forward as a coach. Great. Do you know what I really could do? I would love to start to use energy work in my practice. Great. But that doesn't mean you're not already a kick-ass coach. It just means that you're ready to layer something else in and weave something into your practice. Amazing. But don't go out and get a coaching qualification and then sit on your ass and go, oh, well, I suppose I better learn 8 energetic modalities and 3 other coaching modalities as well, just to make sure that I'm good enough. Just start. You are good enough. Like, your life experience and the practice that you have already had through living your own life are what are going to make you unique. You don't need anything else. If you've already got some practice, some qualifications, some certificate, or something, you are already equipped to use that thing. So that is my rant about that. But when it comes to the earth element and manifestation, really begin to understand this concept of sometimes more is just more, and it's too much. Never thought you'd hear me say too much. But when it comes to actually living your life and being in the enjoyment of living in your body and like receiving from what you've already created, like, you've got to give yourself that time to rest and digest. And that might look like spending a couple of days sitting with all the ideas that you already have, laying them out in front of you on post-it notes and being like, fuck me, I've got loads of ideas. I don't need any more ideas right now. What I need is discernment. And looking at all of those things, for me, I currently have a board in the corner of my living room over here. And I've put, what have I got? I've got 12 post-it notes pinned to this cork board with various areas that I think I help people, that I see transformation in my clients in these areas specifically. And so my next offering is going to be around how I create content, how I'm so prolific, how I don't give a fuck what people think about what I say on the internet, and if I do, how I deal with that. Excuse me, I'm burping. I blame that on you, Lou. Saw your little name pop up and there's some energy moved, and I was like, oh, is that for me or is that for you? I don't know, but hello and welcome. So remember, you already have enough ideas. You don't need to go poking around seeing what other people are doing. Just start implementing, start allowing your system to rest and digest. And I'm going to be launching something super, super soon, within the next week, I reckon, around content creation, showing up online. And this is purely from what you guys have said you want from me and what you perceive me to be doing with ease, and you wonder, like, how the fuck does she do that? Because honestly, creating content for me is just something that is so, like, dare I say, easy, but also it's something that just comes so naturally. It's like breathing. It's like I just create content. I don't like logically have to process or think about it, because I've got it down to a fine art. And so that is what I'm going to be teaching you and speaking to you about. I'm going to be sharing with you like the beliefs that I have about it. I'm going to be sharing with you some of the blocks that I had to clear and how I did that. I'm going to be sharing with you exactly how I show up for my content every day without second guessing myself. I'm going to be sharing all of that stuff with you. And then depending on what you guys want, we may also, ooh, my lunch is ready. We may also look at, you know, how I overcame any objections around selling my stuff and just being like totally fucking shameless around sales, because I know how good my shit is, so I don't worry about telling you about it. In my mind, it's like, I'm selling you a thing. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. Like, that's fine. So I will be sharing all of this with you in this new offering. If you want to have your say about what you would like to see, the beep will stop in seconds, by the way. If you would like to have your say about what goes into that, then if you're watching this in my Facebook group, please go to the announcement section, the featured pinned bit, and there's a poll there where you can actually vote on what you would like to be included in this masterclass. And if you're not watching this on Facebook and you're watching it afterwards on YouTube or Instagram or in my newsletter or whatever, then go to my Facebook group, Mindset and Life Transformations. Request entry if you're not already in there, and click on the poll. Tell me what you want me to cover specifically that's going to help you up-level your content game. I want you to feel that you can just create content as easy as breathing, because it gets to be that easy. It really doesn't have to be this massive process, or it doesn't have to be stressful. I don't even think about it. It's so automatic to me now to create content that I don't think it's anything special or extraordinary. But that's what makes it special and extraordinary to anyone who doesn't feel that way about it, right? That's my 2-line in human design, this inability to see what I do naturally. It's like the easy breezy genius. What do I do so easily and naturally that I don't even know that it's particularly special or extraordinary? And apparently it's my ability to just prolifically create content, show up online, whether I have a spot on my head and messy hair, or whether I have like the full makeup and glamour vibes. So if you want to say, make sure you check out that poll, give me your answers, and in the next week, keep your eyes peeled, because the people who respond to that poll will obviously be the first people to hear about this offering, because I'll go through and reply to everybody. Yeah, so I want your feedback. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Love you, bye.